Coach Michael Malone joining us here on Harris Hastings and Dover on Altitude 92.5. Coach, first and foremost, man, how are you? What's free time feel like if you've experienced that?
It's good to hear you guys, man. I know it's been a little bit of time since I've been on with you. I apologize about that. But free time is, I tell you what, I use this analogy. For 72 games and 10 playoff games, you're going a million miles an hour, and your mind is racing nonstop. And then all of a sudden, you lose Game 4 to the Phoenix Suns. It's like somebody pulls the emergency brake on the subway car, and it comes to an abrupt halt. And I'm getting better at it, but it's always my wife's biggest fear because she goes, oh, my gosh, this guy is going to be home now. He's going to be a pain in the ass.
Don't you got somewhere to go?
Deal with this guy. So, but the best thing that I did is right when the season ended, my wife and I, my two girls, we got on a plane and flew back to New York.
Awesome.
To see my mother and father. It had been 2 years since I'd seen them last, and just that 4 or 5 days spending time with them, because as you guys know, I mean, yeah, you can phone call, you can text, you can Zoom, all that stuff, but nothing replaces giving your mother a hug. Nothing replaces giving your father a hug, and that was invaluable. That was something that took the pain out of the season being over and getting swept. Being with my family took some of that pain away. And now, I'm home. I was down at the arena yesterday. We got a few guys in town right now. I'm getting ready to go to Vegas. My youngest daughter's team is playing in the volleyball nationals.
Nice.
All right.
Just trying to be a husband, be a dad, and kind of reconnect after a long season and a long bubble, and just trying to get back to a little bit of normalcy.
Can you coach? Can you coach your daughter's team?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can you coach, like when your daughter's playing in volleyball? Do you coach the team a little bit, or do you have to take all the coaching hats off and just sit there and be a dad?
Well, it's funny, man. So my wife played volleyball in college, and she knows the game, and I'm starting to learn the game. But my wife looks at me sometimes like, "You have no idea what you're talking about." Basketball, but what I look for, like, when I go to my girls' games, and it's been a long time since I've been to either one of their games because of, one, our schedule, and then when they started letting parents go to games, they were only allowing one parent per player.
Oh, wow.
Always my wife. So I'm looking forward to actually watching her live and just making sure because she's a natural leader, but leading by example, staying positive, uplifting her teammates. All the other stuff, I mean, as long as you're playing hard, that's all I care about. But, I for a long time, I had a hard time going to my kids' games because I'm a little competitive.
As your wife, have you ever sat down with Marlo and talked to Marlo about volleyball?
It's funny. I have. I don't think my wife has, but I think on one of the telecasts that you guys had, he was actually speaking about how my two girls both play volleyball, which is very nice of them. But obviously, Chris has a storied career and a wealth of knowledge, so I'll have to pick his brain here as we move forward.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, we do want to talk about kind of the season, where things are. It is just great to hear your voice, and the fact that you have free time, Coach, I think that's very awesome right now after everything that you've gone through, we've gone through. But we do want to talk about the team, where things are. Of course, the couple weeks to decompress, kind of take it all in is where we are as Nuggets fans as well. Coach, you're watching this Suns team, and we're seeing a team kind of emerge. And actually, I guess I don't want to ask a Nuggets question, Coach. I want to ask what we've talked about. This NBA moment right now. We're watching new stars evolve, and it's beautiful to see.
Oh, it is. I think this will be this is a crazy stat. This is the first NBA Finals that will be without Steph Curry or LeBron James since like 1992. I'm exaggerating, but it is great to see new teams, new coaches, and new stars. What Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and the Suns are doing is incredible. You tip your cap. Obviously, you hate to see all the injuries that are going on to all the teams. That's probably one of the biggest negatives about this past season is that we're not seeing everybody at full strength, which happens at times, but that's unfortunate. You go to the Eastern Conference and you see what Ice Trae Young is doing, and he's putting a team on his back. He drops 48 points the other night in the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals like he's been doing it for years. So the game has a lot of great veteran players, But the great thing about it is you have a lot of players 25 years and younger who are more than ready and excited to take over that mantle in these next few years. Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Trae Young, John Morant, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, all these players are just supremely talented, and that's why if you truly love the game of basketball, you enjoy watching these games because you're seeing it happen right in front of you. So, I always have a hard time watching the playoffs once we're eliminated because you're so competitive and you want to still be playing. But I'm also watching because of the guys that I have relationships with on the Atlanta Hawks staff, guys like Melvin Hunt, Chris Gent, or guys in Phoenix like Chris Paul, like Monty Williams. So great time of the year. Unfortunately, we're watching. Next year, I hope we're playing at this time.
We saw the end of the season, and I've been saying this and preach this on this show for a while, and I know you're a big listener, but there's so many young guys, but there are holes in their game, and I've said this about Michael. Even during the telecast, said, listen, he's really good, but he's not even close to where he can be. He kind of talked about that with his ball handling. You're seeing that with other guys and these young guys that struggle with defensive schemes. Not just Michael. I mean, there's a whole bunch of young guys if you pay attention to it. What are the one or two things you tell the young guys like a Michael Porter Jr. or anybody else you've coached through the years as far as how to improve and what to improve on in the off season?
Yeah, so I think what usually happens, Scott, is we get together as a staff and we go through each player. So when the season ended, I told all the guys, well, listen, get away. Go home, go on vacation, decompress, get away from the game, get your mind right, take care of your body. And then after 2 weeks, then you turn your attention back on, okay, teams are made during the season, but players are made during the off season. What are the things that I have to get better at? And you always want guys to come back stronger. For us, we have to have guys come back healthy. That was such a big part of our season, and our season coming to an end much sooner than we all would have liked. But I'll get with my coaching staff, our player development coaches. We'll go through each player. We'll break down the season. We'll break down their stats. What are their finishing numbers? What are they mid-range, free throw, three-point, defensive tricks, all those things. And then we'll have a conversation about, and it can't be 10 things. Like, hey, I'm going to work on 10 things this summer. No, we try to give no more than 3. Hey, you got to work on these 3 things to not only help you become a better player, but more importantly, to help us become a team. And so, we're going through that now as a coaching staff, and then we'll be meeting with our players probably by the end of the week, going into next week. Hey, these are the areas that we want you to focus on. You mentioned Michael Porter. The ability to handle the ball, create his own shot. The guy is an efficient scorer. He can raise up and shoot over people. But adding to the ability to create your own, that is a skill that not many people have, but the great players do have. And obviously, it's tough to get into a gym and work on defensive rotations and closeouts. But doing some sort of footwork drills, doing some sort of closeout drills, making sure that a defensive component is a part of every one of your work is also important for all of our players. So I was at the gym yesterday, had a long talk with Facu. He's in town, getting ready to leave for Las Vegas to join the Argentine national team as they prepare for the Olympics. But talking to Facu about his game, and said, Facu, everybody said you couldn't shoot from 3. You shot 35 from 3 this year. I said, but you can get better. You can be more consistent. I go, but I think the big area emphasis for you has to be your ability to finish. You get into the paint, you have to become a better finisher using your left hand, using your right hand. And you don't have to be a great athlete to be a great finisher. Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, those are 2 of the best finishers in the game, and they're not dunking on anybody. It's just their ability to finish oversized with either hand that makes them terrific finishers. So that's just an example of one player like Facu. But if all of our players come back a little bit improved, well, as a team, we made a huge jump. And almost every year we've been here, Scott, I think our players have come back better and improved players.
They absolutely have. And what was the conversation you had, Coach, with Aaron Gordon, somebody who had an inconsistent performance during the playoffs? What do you want him to work on this offseason?
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to be a little bit in defense of Aaron. We were asking Aaron to guard Damian Lillard. Okay, we were asking Aaron to guard Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And, he's a power forward / small forward, and he can definitely guard those guys. I think he's shown he has the ability to be a versatile defensive stopper. He has some unbelievable possessions where I can't think of many players in the NBA that could have defended any better than Aaron did. So I think when you look at, especially in the second round against Phoenix, and some of the shooting numbers, and wasn't as efficient as he was in that first round, a lot of that has to do, I think, with us sometimes asking him to do too much. He shot 41 from the field against Phoenix. He was 0 of 8 from 3. Now, yes, can he become a better three-point shooter, more consistent? Can he become a better free throw shooter, more consistent? Yes, he can, and Aaron knows that. But I also think we have to have other guys step up and guard the likes of Damian Lillard and guard the likes of Chris Paul and Devin Booker. So, Aaron Gordon can have a chance to be effective on offense as well. But I thought, Aaron, I think, played, 25, 26 games for us. We had one of the best records since the trade deadline. And when we were fully healthy, and I allude to the game against the Clippers in early April, I thought we had a chance to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Aaron had a hugely positive impact on our season. And so it's easy to just look down the Phoenix series. Well, Aaron Gordon struggled. Yeah, you know what? He did. We all struggled. I struggled. We all have to be better. But overall, the addition of Aaron Gordon was a very, very impactful and positive addition. And obviously, I love coaching him. He's a great kid. He's a hard worker. And I know that he's going to be really, looking forward to getting back in the gym, to improving and coming back even better next season.
Well, Coach, you said it there, and I always love it when a coach says, hey, I have to get better too, because as a player you say, all right, coach is a part of the team now. What did you learn through this playoffs that you'll maybe do differently or you'll look at differently moving forward?
Well, the bottom line is, the regular season is great. We were number 6 in the offensive efficiency. We were 11th in defensive efficiency. But in our 10 postseason games, our defense was awful. And we got away with it against Portland because we could outscore them. That was a shootout at the OK Corral series. We were just able to score more than them. And then we went against a much better defensive team in Phoenix, and our offense let us down. We couldn't score, but again, the defense was not close to being where it needed to be. We gave up 120 points a night. They shot over 50 from the field. They shot over 40 from 3. You're not going to win any playoff series when your defense is that lax. So now it's kind of, and we do this every season, me and my coaching staff, we take a very honest, in-depth look at who we are, where we failed, what changes do we have to make in our philosophy and our approach, and make those necessary changes. Long gone are the days of, hey, this is my way and we're sticking to it. No, you can't do that because the game is always changing. The game is always evolving. And from year 1 to year 6, we've made significant changes in how we do things, both offensively and defensively. Going to next season, obviously this summer, we'll take another deep look into what we do and how we failed in helping our players against Phoenix. And you can say, well, Jamal was out, this guy was out. Sure, that's all true, but our defense could have been much better than it was. And that's what is the biggest concern for me as we move into this offseason.
Yeah, look what the Clips did last night, holding Phoenix to 92. They must have done something defensively that they didn't do in games 1 and 2. I believe it was 7 jobs opened up around the league, Coach. It's never good as a head coach, and those are all your peers and most friends. But 7 openings I saw, I think, where Terry Stotts looks like he's going to get that Pacer job. But that being said,
Carlisle
would you be surprised if Wes Unseld is back next year on your staff?
Well, I think I just heard one of the guys mention it. Rick Carlisle got the Pacer job.
Oh, Rick Carlisle, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
But, anybody who signs up to be a coach, they understand that this is a business where if you're looking for security, you're in the wrong line of work. It's just the nature of the business, nature of the beast. Coaches are sick individuals. You understand the rules. You sign up for it anyway. I am really hoping that Wes Unseld finally gets his chance. There are a few teams out there that have openings where I think Wes would be terrific. I know he's had a couple of interviews already. I heard those interviews have gone well. And my biggest point of contention is this. One, Wes Unseld has been in the league for over 20 years. All right, he's paid his dues. He knows the game. He's extremely intelligent. He has a great personality. He balances me really well. He's a fiery, passionate, emotional coach, and I'm the calm one. So we balance each other out there.
Nobody believes. Yeah.
But he deserves this opportunity. Like, he's been a part. Like, we have the most wins in the Western Conference the last 3 years. I mean, like, we've gotten out of the first round 3 years in a row. Like, what else does Wes Unseld have to do? He's my associate head coach, and I'm not one of those head coaches that I do everything myself. I don't believe in that. So I empower my coaches. Like, Wes Unseld has a voice. He's on the practice court, in the film sessions. Like, he's been a big part of this. So I don't understand why who's had the success that we've had wouldn't say, you know what, the Denver Nuggets must be doing something right. And he's their top assistant coach. He's been around the league for a long time, become some basketball royalty. We all know about his father and all of Wes Unseld Sr.'s accomplishments on the court and in the front office. So it really doesn't make any sense to me. And if he doesn't get a job, I'd be shocked and really disappointed at this process, because I can't imagine, no disrespect to all these other candidates, that there are many guys as qualified as Wes Unseld. But here's the catch, and I have talked to Wes about this. The luxury that Wes Unseld has is that, you know what? He has a great job. He puts up with my BS every day, but aside from that, he does a great job. And we all feel like this unfinished business. Like, as great as these last 6 years have been, improving, getting to where we've gotten, we still haven't achieved our ultimate goal of winning a championship. And I think there's a part of Wes that wants to see this through, to hang that banner in Ball Arena. So if he's back, I'd be shocked. But tell you, I don't want to lose him, but he deserves the opportunity, Scott, and you know that because you've been around him a ton these last few years.
We are talking to Coach Michael Malone and his Michael Malone Show appearance. Coach, I want to ask you, of course there's stuff for every player to do. The obligatory Joker question here, who, by the way, looks awesome riding those horses in his Nike gear in Sombor.
A little buggy.
Yeah.
I need a buggy to watch TV.
Coach,
like
you ever done that? You ever got on one of those horses?
Well, I gave you a quick story about the last time I was in Sombor. We were hanging out at his house, and he goes, Coach, let's go. We'll go to the stables. So we go over to the stables, and, it's about to be practice time for the horses. So the trainer's taking one of the horses out, on the track right there, and trainer's on it, and it pulls up, and Joker goes, Coach, and they let me ride it. And I said, listen, just, take it easy. This is just training. Well, I think I'm like Ben-Hur or whatever. I'm in the chariot. So I do the first lap, and Joker and the trainer like, Coach, slow down. You're going too fast. And I was like, okay. Let's go. I came in the second lap, and they were both like pissed at me. They're like, Coach, you just ruined practice. This was right, and you went too hard.
Did you go, how's it feel? How's it feel? Yeah.
I get back to the house, and Nicola's two brothers, I was telling them about it, and they were so surprised and pissed off. They go, Coach, he let you ride the horse and drive the horse? I go, yeah. He never lets us do that.
Oh, Coach, you got some pull there.
Shrug your shoulders a little bit.
He tries. He goes about 295, though. That's probably why he's not on that horse.
Yeah.
Coach, I do want to ask you, though, before the story, what does Joker do to take the next step? I mean, he's the Serbian basketball god, but what does he do to take the next step and elevate his game?
Yeah, obviously, when you're coming off of an MVP season, you say, well, how can you get any better? And I think the first thing for Nikola is going home and, like you've seen the pictures, decompressing. I mean, what he did in the bubble for 83 days, what he did 72 games this regular season, and even into the playoffs this year was really remarkable. So I think it's important for him to go home, relax, spend time with his wife, his mom, his dad, his brothers, and everybody else in Sombor. And he needs that just for his emotional and mental well-being. And then I think it's always so important, because what is it, 2-3 years ago when he was close to 300 pounds, and then he made the decision to get into the best shape of his life, and he sustained that. He has to make sure that even if he's not in the gym shooting a basketball, he needs to come back in the same great shape that he's been in these last 2 years, because that has had a direct correlation with his efficiency and effectiveness on the court. And the last thing I'll say, and I think Scott Hastings will probably remember these commercials, but back in the day, obviously, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, every offseason, they would dedicate themselves to coming back a better player and just adding something to their game. Whether it was a baby hook for Magic, whether it was something for Larry Bird, they were never satisfied. And the truly great players are never satisfied. They never rest on their laurels or accomplishments. So Nikola, I know him. He's not sitting at home looking at his MVP trophy and said, "Oh, I got it made. I'm good." What motivates him is fear. And now that he feels I'm an MVP, I have to be even better. So just, becoming a more consistent player all the way around. The guy has really no holes in his game, but you can always be better. You can always get in better shape. You can always be stronger. And I think he's made so many strides over the years, not just with his skill set, but also his maturation, his willingness to be a vocal leader, his willingness to really admit, you know what, I have to handle adversity better and leave the referees alone. So I think he's grown in so many, and I fully expect him to grow even more this coming off season as we go into year number 7 together.
Hey, I won't say it on the air, but call me later and I'll tell you what I was told. It'll make you mad, but I don't want to do that on the air. But that's for later in a private conversation. Last thing for me, and really do appreciate your time, Mr. Musk. We haven't seen you in person in a couple of years. Do you look and listen, no one knows but COVID knows. But do you look maybe next year really being back to normal, getting rid of the testing twice a day, interaction with people and stuff like that more next year?
I hope so. I'm definitely keeping my fingers crossed, Scott, because all these protocols that are understandably why they're in place, but all the protocols and testing, that's just a whole another layer to a really long, hard season. And so my hope is we're going to get back to a normal time frame next season, starting off late September, early October for preseason. But it'd be great if we didn't have to jump through all these hoops that really take a lot out of you over the long haul. You get worried, we all read the news and listen to the news about all these variants, the Delta variant, and what's going on in different places around the globe. Obviously, it's really attacking the population that is still unvaccinated, but every time you think this thing is going away, there's a reminder that it's not going away. So as much as I hope that next season will be no masks, no testing, full arenas, getting back to the normal NBA, there's a part of me deep down inside that says that may not be the case. And obviously you have to roll with the punches, and you understand a lot of this is out of our control. And we have to do the best for the safety of the players, the coaches, the officials, the fans, and everyone else. And, that's where we follow the league's lead on that.
Hey, one of the changes, do you want to stay away from the suits? Would you be happy if from now on the suits stayed off the sidelines?
Come on, man. I hope my suits keep on collecting dust in my closet. I love wearing the Nike Polo, my Travis Matthew athleisure slacks, and some comfortable, shoes. That to me is the way
feel like a coach.
You have baseball, and I love it. You have some of these managers that are out there, they're wearing the baseball uniform. So we're not going to go that far. I don't want you looking at me on the bench. I got a sweatsuit.
Who wears shorts?
I want to see Coach with the jersey.
Come on.
Yeah. Those jerseys showing up the guns. But I think, this is my opinion, it's much more comfortable when you travel for a 5-game, 7-game road trip. Now it's so much easier because you're not packing suits and shirts and ties and dress shoes. And I think it looks good. It's not like it's, oh, my God. Why do I have to dress like a banker while I'm sitting on the bench?
Well, you do got that money, Coach. You do got that banker money now.
Yeah. I hope it stays to answer the original question, but obviously that's not my call. It's going to be the head coaches and the NBCA, their call.
Hey, Coach, real quick, though, you got to check out the ABC Lululemons, man. Those athleisure pants, check them out. Just a little tip for you from the big fella.
I've got a pair of those, and those are – they're in the rotation as well, man.
All right.
We're loaded up on the Lulus. We're loaded up on the Travis Matthew, and You can't go wrong with either one.
Hey, and Coach, really, for real, last one here. I know you had your WeldWorks beer and your favorite during the pandemic to get you through, but an unbiased beer opinion from Coach Malone. You like that MVP beer a little bit better than the Malone beer, or where are you leaning?
Well, it's funny. So you're talking about the WellWorks Sunboard Shuffle
Yeah,
MVP?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, I've gotten to know those guys. Jake Goodman up at WellWorks and the whole WellWorks crew up in Greeley. I've gone up there. They've given me the VIP tour, and they have just a whole staff filled of Nuggets fans. Those guys are Nuggets crazy. When I went up there, unannounced, it wasn't like they knew I was coming. Guys had Nuggets jerseys on, hats. So they do a phenomenal job. They have one of the best beers in the state, country, if you want to go that far, in my opinion. I have not tasted the Sunboard Shuffle yet. I think it's great they did that. They're always being creative. And if you like beer, what a great state to like beer in, because Colorado has some of the best breweries in the country. And just really grateful for my relationship and friendship with Jake Goodman and the entire staff up at WellWorks, because he sent me a text probably 2 weeks ago, right before they were releasing that MVP Sunboard Shuffle, and I thought it was great. And right after Game 4 against the Suns, we were all hanging out down in the coach's room, and that was just a quick side note. We lose Game 4. I get done with my media, and Nicole says, "Coach, we'll have a beer before you go." And that one beer turned into 2 hours, and we're hanging out, drinking a beer. Josh Kroenke was down there with us, just reflecting on the season, talking about the future. And that's why I love coming to work every day, because I work with great people from ownership down to the last man standing, and we have a really good group of people. But somebody brought in a big box of Breckenridge Brewery, and they created an MVP pills.
Oh,
MVP.
This was like a big fat oil can, like a big boy, and Nicola signed it. So I have an MVP pills from Breckenridge Brewery, autographed by the current MVP, Nikola Jokic.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel pretty special. I'm not going to drink that one. I'm going to save that can.
Save that one, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to pay for my kids' college tuition.
Coach, we really appreciate you, man. Thanks for making the time. Great season this year. We can't wait to see what comes in the future with what the offseason brings, and when you guys run it back coming up next year, man. We wish you the best, Coach. You, your family, your girls, have a great summer. Enjoy that free time, Coach. You've earned some of that, man. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and all season long coming on with you guys. You guys are the best, and maybe about a month, 2 months, we'll give you guys a call. We can kind of talk about anything not Nuggets.
Yeah.
All right.
See
Even
how
better.
your tan's doing, man. Get to the beach.
Safe, man, and appreciate all you do for us, and to all of our fans out there who are listening. Next year, hopefully, Ball Arena will be full capacity. Appreciate all your support, and you guys have truly made a huge difference from year 1 to year 6. That would not have been possible without the support of our fans. So keep doing your thing. Be safe out there, and look forward to talking to you guys soon.
Well said, Coach. We look
Thanks,
forward
Coach.
to it as well. That is Coach Michael Malone with us right here on Altitude 92.5. Plenty to unload from it. We'll do that after a quick break. It's Harris, Hastings, and Dover.